A blessed Shabbat to Yasha Allah, the 12 tribes, or let's say the remnant of the 12 tribes of Yasha Allah, for whom our Mashiach, our Malach, and High Priest gave himself, spotless Lamb of Allah Hayim, Yahweh, take away the sin of the world, and to be a cleanser unto the house of Yasha Allah on the behalf of the oath sworn unto Abraham our father a long time ago. So here we are this morning with grateful hearts indeed. It might have seemed to be a time of, I suppose, turmoil in the minds of many, but for us in Yasha Allah, we are told by the Mashiach to look up and lift up your head, Yasha Allah, for your redemption draws nigh, or is nearer, as one passage in the Torah says. Your redemption is nearer at hand than when you first believe. And so, on the behalf of our Malach, our King, our High Priest, we present you with his word as the one in command of this wonderful offering that we engage with, called the sealing time. In this sealing proposition, we're talking about Revelation chapter 7, the sealing of the remnant of the 12 tribes, Balakata. And concerning the sealing, we know that our chief enemy, Satan himself, Gabriel, chief of the fallen, is the one who is standing, as it were, squarely at the front of his armies. And his armies, in basic, comprises Esau with Levi, the fallen priesthood, who now chiefly resides in Haiti, Levi. I understand that Levi has been sending out warning concerning the declaration of himself, of themselves in Haiti, as being anti-Messiah, garbage, chosen of the Father to be a leader and an officer of the guard. to teach Yasha'Allah about the priesthood of the Mashiach and to prepare Yasha'Allah for service as priests. But Levi has determined to give himself totally unto the fallen one and to be a destroyer of the priesthood, so much so that Levi turned himself totally against the Mashiach in league with Esau. And so we have had a great disturbance in the matter of the priesthood, and ourselves as the children for whom the redemption has been provided. We have been lacking in understanding our role as kings and priests, or priests and kings, whichever way you might want to put it. It has been the studied effort of Satan, Gadriel, the fallen, to seek to prevent the remnant from coming into the office or the offices of the priesthood and kingship. You remember the offering? The Mashiach, in fact, Abba Yahweh mentions at Sinai, long time ago, that his intention was and is to make of Yasha'Allah a kingdom of priests and kings, Malakata, kings and priests. And today we are in full swing of the Mashiach, having given his life to make all of this a reality. We find out, however, that Levi, who was one of the princes, gave himself over to Gadriel, to Satan, and to Esau to prevent the kingdom order from maturing and coming into its full virtue. So we're happy for the revelation of the Mashiach that has been exposing all the errors of Satan, Gadriel, fallen, and his chief helpers that have come to be. Esau, matter of fact, Amalek of Esau, the one who has taken prime responsibility for the destruction or the attempted destruction of Jacob or Yaakov. You remember the rejection of the birthright and the demand of Esau was to throw away the birthright as ordered and offered by the Most High himself, and to turn himself by the will of Satan to become a thief and robber, and to seek by force to have the ownership of the birthright and all the blessings and goodness of the birthright. Can you imagine that? You want to take away the ownership of birthright. That is the property of the Mashiach, who came according to the order of the Most High Yahweh and was made sin for us, because sin is a problem that had to be transacted for, wiped away out of the pathway of the Most High, who made the heavens and the earth by his word and his Rawak, and has ordered that there be righteousness, cleanness for his kingdom. And here you had Esau given the order by Satan to thwart all of that and set up a kingdom of thieves, robbers, destroyers. And that is to be set forth, set in the forefront of achieving a kingdom of Torah, righteousness. And so here we are at this juncture, as we have already experienced the former reign that began with the proclamation of the completion of 400 years enslavement. And now we've come to this time of the exercise where we're looking forward to the fullness of the reception of the blessed Rawak, that is termed the latter rain. And here we are. We want to look then at some, well, highlights, I suppose. We're looking at highlights of Satan, Gadriel the fallen, in his attempt to make Esau seem to be, to make Esau appear to be the chosen ones that should receive the blessing and the birthright and the inheritance to the kingdom. So how could you have a kingdom set up by the Most High himself that should turn out to be a kingdom of devils as representatives for those who are to be the heirs of salvation and to be children of a kingdom of righteousness and shalom? Could Gadriel himself be the author of such a kingdom? And could Esau, who vowed that he had no respect, reverence for birthright, that required a nation and a kingdom of priests, kings, righteousness, shalom, which Esau rejected by his own mouth. And we see in Bereshith, the scripture, Esau despised that birthright. But the Most High, for the love, wherever he loved, wherever he has loved, Abraham, our father, brought forth out of Abraham, even out of Abraham himself, brought forth the seed of righteousness that should make the proper representation for placement of ownership, inheritors of those, or those to inherit the birthright and bring in everlasting righteousness. So we want to look in continuance at this proposition for the sealing. We want to look at some of the attempts of Gadriel, Satan, and Esau together with Levi in particular to thwart the prospect of the sealing. Now, in fact, the sealing that ends with the latter rain, the completion of the givingness of the Rawak to the redeemed of Hamashiach, our Malach, our King. Sheke Tadaba. We look with interest, I suppose, at the fact that Esau has made such efforts to proclaim himself the chosen. And all his works are works of Satanism. This is what Esau has produced. In fact, we are told in the Apocrypha that with the beginning of Esau's pretended reign to power, that evils was begun with the Grecians. And in this case, we're looking with particular interest at Amalek, who became, as it were, the chief spokesman for Edom. And Amalek has been the one that brought forth leadership to conduct 400 years enslavement of Yasha'Allah. Yeah, that Amalek, and has been standing in the way to promote himself. One individual, or one tribe of individuals from Esau presenting themselves as 12 tribes. The remnant of 12 tribes that are to be the inheritors of the kingdom of grace, righteousness, that was bought, paid for by the blood of the Lamb, even Hamashiach. And from the beginning of evils with the Grecians, Esau, and their chief spokesman, Amalek, we see the I guess we could say, we see the fullness or the full development of evils that came into the earth with the Grecians Now remember Habakkuk standing on his watch. He was able to see the developments of ancient Babylon and their treatment of Yasha'Allah through Nebuchadnezzar and the other Babylonian rule through the various kings, the different names that go with it. With Babylon. And of course, we understand that Greece, Esau, came up in the underbelly of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, and the other kings, Darius and whoever else pertaining to the Babylonian rule. Greece came up in the underbelly and by their ships, according to Deuteronomy. Having learned of Mizraim, of Egypt, the work and the workings of enslavement. Greece, the Ptolemies, and Egypt and Mizraim learned the trade of enslavement, came out to enslave Yasha'Allah. With the help of Levi. They have done it. And the time of the 400 years enslavement for this period has now come to its end. And their king, their ruler, Satan, who led them in all of the atrocities of humanity, who led all humanity into degradation and destruction, and with a final hold on world power through Esau and through Amalek, has destroyed the earth, as the scripture tells us. So we look, as we continue to examine Esau's perversion and his manner of destruction of righteous living, Torah-based living, we see that as Esau came from the underbelly of his trek into Greece, and out of Greece, to use the method learned in Mitzrayim by the Ptolemies and so forth. They learned the trade of enslavement by ships. And with Amalek taking charge of the kingdom order of Esau under Satan, Gadriel. They did their work. So you have had among their actions and the devastating work of destruction you had in the early days of the development of Amalek's rule. You had, we have had, they have had the impact of Russia. You know, the czars of Russia who gave this great pretense to Russian Orthodoxy and Christianity. That was part of the main thrust of Esau. The czars who claim Christianity as this wonderful religion that the czars gave themselves to, and you know, with all their arrangements and outlook on pretended righteousness. They took the Christianity and you know, developed it, and so it came to be what we now understand it to be, that the thrust into stealing away the birthright of Yahweh, of the chosen. They began this when they began it with the Russian nobility latching onto the attempt to claim righteousness by the Torah from the point of political rule. This is what the fellow there that we're talking about, this Esau fellow, I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but in Russia, Esau developed his Christian ideals, whereby continued to promote himself as a people that love righteousness, while they were busy trying to steal the honor of kingdom from the house of Judah, the house of Yahweh. This is what they were doing, and pretending all this righteousness of nastiness, stealing, trying to steal the birthright by pretending righteousness. And so this to give us an understanding of how Esau was working his thing, plying his art of thievery to win the mind of the masses of humanity by offering, where's that fellow? Offering this fellow. You got the fellow hidden, but working by the works and the principles of Gadriel and Satan made his Christianity to appear to be something worthwhile, something that Esau would continue to develop and push throughout the earth. All it was destruction, trying to take over, coveting the goodness of Torah, to turn it into a dirtbag of wickedness. And so now we see how Greece developed its Christianity coming up from the underbelly of Nebuchadnezzar and all the other ones, the Persians and so on and so forth. And developed himself into a military might. That sought by a military force to take the birthright unto themselves, even to wrest it from the hands of the Mashiach, whom they crucified, because they wanted nothing to do with birthright according to Torah and righteousness. So Satan, according to them, was going to set up this kingdom that would be the thrust of Torah. I mean, Torah, as we know it, as the Most High set it up to be, but they were claiming the authority to work and live by Torah. Torah of destruction, wickedness. Amalek. And so this is one of the things that we're looking at in consideration of the theft, the attempted thievery of Esau through Russia and the Russian Tsar and their Christian righteousness, masters of destruction. But we're thankful that the Mashiach was watching all of this, watching Esau, watching, what was his name? Setting up this, this massive Christian identity, trying to steal birthright. And so we thank the Mashiach, our King, our leader, for revealing Esau and all of his trickery, trying to steal birthright from the house of Judah, of Yahweh, and with the help of the fallen priesthood. And so Yasha'Allah, you hold on. Hold on to your hats. Hold on to your gift, your authority. Take the kingdom. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's goodwill to give you the kingdom. We only wait for the Mashiach. To brush aside the Esau mosquitoes. Brush them aside with Gadriel, who tried to set him up as worthy of the spilled blood of Mashiach. The blood that he spilled, the death that he died, and the power of his resurrection to receive the honor of kingdom authority unto the Most High Yahweh. Another installment of encouragement, Yasha Allah. Keep the faith unto victory in our Master, our Malak, our High Priest, our Al-Hayam, Mashiach. So we're looking through the lens of prophecy and seeing how Esau tried to make his tracks through history to claim ownership of the birthright. All his claims was spearheaded by Gadriel, Satan, the stinkest, nastiest piece of garbage, looking for a righteous recommendation coming by way of the stench of rebellion against Torah and with his people, Malakata. So we encourage you today, Yasha Allah, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. And you've seen the use of Russian iconography, and they're putting forth of their Christianity, scum and garbage, to replace the Torah of righteousness in Hamashiach, the King, to replace that with Esau, Satan, Gadriel, the stench of the cosmos. Encourage you, keep the faith to the end. We're almost out of here, Yasha Allah. In the name of our King, Yahushai, Malak, the triumphant one, who went out and smashed, bruised the head of Gadriel and all of Esau's foolish attempts to make the destroyers of the earth inheritors of the birthright of righteousness and Torah. unto the Most High. So you get another glimpse of Russian iconography and Russia's Christianity as a means to steal the birthright. Barakatah. And the Most High bless you. Malikita Barakatah. We're almost home, Yasha Allah. Bless you in the name of the Mashiach, our King, warrior, the one who gives us the victory. Thanks be to Allah Hayyam, Father, in the blessed Rawak, gives us the victory through Mashiach. So let it be.